as a kid, one game that really stood out to me, but I never got a chance to play it, was Pokémon XD. It was hard not to be intrigued by it due to the fact that it was fully 3D, which wasn't common at the time. I know Pokémon Colosseum was a prequel to this, however I felt playing only one or the other would be enough for me. Surprisingly to this day, I have no idea what happens in this game, other than Shadow Lugia of course. I've heard from others that this game is a bit difficult, so I'll be doing a regular playthrough, because I actually want to make it to the end. With all that said, here's my first playthrough of Pokémon XD Gale of Darkness. I start the game off by naming myself Justin. This boat is then rudely attacked by a Pokemon that heavily resembles Lugia. When I saw this part, I was honestly pretty confused. One, because I had no idea how the heck we're starting the game off with Pokemon this strong, and two, I had no idea that Hoenn was even part of this game. I went with the flow and completed the battle. After the battle, I was met with a bit more confusion. This is when I realized it was a simulation and my starter was a really ugly looking Eevee instead of a Salamence. I enter this room and find who I assume is my mom and the professor. And I'm given the task of finding my sister. Great start already. I talked to this guy that she's playing hide and seek with, who's doing a great job by the way. I literally walked by him 20 times and I did not notice him. He says she's at some manor. I jump on my scooter and make my way there. I'm met with Chobin, who thinks I'm a burglar, and defeat him in battle. I go inside, find my sister, and make it back to the lab in one piece. I find the professor again and receive the snag machine. I then walk outside and everyone gets jumped. They even grab the professor even though I was literally just talking to him. I battle this fool and steal his Teddy Ursa. I then watch as they stuff the professor in their trunk and kidnap him. I then go back to Mom and she decides that they were going to finish the purifying chamber that the professor was working on. She then sends me to Gadian Port to get a part for the machine. I unfortunately have to take Jovi with me. I get to Gadian Port and Jovi's already causing issues bumping into this man. He then tries to battle me, but I'm saved by these non-suspicious looking people. I then watch as Alakazam one-shot this dude Zangoose. I enter this building and find this guy giving away an evolution item for Eevee. I choose the Moon Shard for Umbreon, which apparently was the worst choice, but we'll see how that goes. I then find the guy in charge of the part shop and receive the machine parts from him. I take the parts back to my mother and finally get rid of Jovi. They ask me to go to Agate Village to learn how to purify Pokemon. I get to the village and enter this forest where I take out 4 trainers. This is when I started to realize that every battle in this game was a double battle. If I knew this, I probably wouldn't have played it to begin with, but we're too far to go back now. Eevee surprisingly evolves after only 1 level. Thank goodness I don't have to look at that face anymore. I got through the forest and battled Aegon. He tells me my Teddy Ursa is still too angry to be purified, so I have to get my heart meter to 0 and go back. I touch the stone and my Teddy Ursa gets purified. I'm then invited to Aegon's place where he tells me to visit Vander at Mount Battle. I make my way there. When I get there, I listen to the suspicious dude say some evil stuff and walk away. I then complete the Mount Battle demo run and talk to Vander. He points me in the direction of Teen Cypher's research base. I get to the base and am met with the original Pokemon Rangers. I battle the red one and steal his Houndor. I also fight the blue one and steal his Spheal. I basically get my whole team here. I steal the yellow one's Mareep too. As I was battling people in the lab, my Houndor was ready to be purified. While I was on my way to purify Houndor, I got another message saying that Mareep was ready also. 2 birds with 1 stone, I guess. I touched the stone and purified Houndor. I then touched the stone again and purified Mareep. After receiving a bunch of EXP from purification, Mareep decided to evolve. I then went back to the lab and snagged this Shroomish, making it the final member of my team. I also grabbed the ID card from this table. I found my way to the room with the professor and battled the Cypher commander. He was taken out with not much difficulty. As I was trying to escort Professor Crane out of the building, we were interrupted by Lavrina. She was also taken out, and we all returned to the lab in one piece. They told me the purifying chamber is finished, but to be honest I don't know how it works, so I won't be using it. I go outside and find Dotton, who was stressed out that he can't decipher the data ROM. The professor finds out and says it is what it is. He sends me to Pirate Town to find someone who might be able to. I first make a stop to touch the stone and purify my Spheal. I make it to Pirate Town and walk into the building that the professor was talking about. I go up the building and find Net, who says he will decipher the data ROM. I was told to kill some time at the Pokespots and found this Afro dude. He challenged me to a battle which I took some damage from, but I still got the job done. After beating him, I got an email from Net saying he deciphered the data ROM. I got back to Pirate Town to find out that everyone's been jumped. Before battling Team Cypher, I quickly go back to Agate Village to touch the stone and purify my Shroomish. I make my way up the building and find Detro on the roof. I take out the Cypher member in the way. I entered Net's office and battled this jacked Cypher member. This battle admittedly gave me some trouble as I was starting to feel a bit underleveled, but I managed to get by and defeat him. I talk to Net and he says there's a girl named Marcia at Phoenix City, and he points me in that direction. When I get there, something seems off. I go into the mayor's room and find this note. The note basically says that Cypher has taken over Phoenix City. As I'm reading this note, this Cypher member in disguise jumps me. I take them out easily. I step outside to see that Cypher has disguised themselves as the same person 6 times. I enter this building and give the lady the letter from the mayor, but it turns out she's a Cypher member also. Trust no one, I guess. I defeated them in battle. I continued until I found Justy, who was another Cypher person in disguise. I was forced to take them out. After that, I made my way up this building, which was blocked before. I made my way through until I found these Cypher admin looking people. I had to battle them one after another. You would think when the game is heavily based on double battles, you'd be able to just fight them both at the same time, but whatever. After defeating them, I picked up the elevator key on the floor. I used this to take the elevator to all the people that were kidnapped. The real Justy then tells me that there's still rumors of Cyphers floating around in the desert. He points me in that direction. I try to make my way there, but my scooter gets stuck. I go to Net and tell him about my troubles. he directs me to a Pear in Gadian Port. I go to the parts shop and Pear says his grandfather is at Kaminko's manor. Before heading there, I run into these suspicious guys again. He just says he's impressed with the Cypher admin battle that was broadcasted on TV. I get to the manor and Chobin thinks I'm a burglar again. I take him out and my shrooms evolves after the battle. Kaminko comes out and tells Chobin to bring out this monstrosity. I'm not sure how a robot suit helps with Pokemon battling, but I defeated him again regardless. I find Pear's grandfather and talk to him about the scooter. We go back to his shop and upgrade it. We make our way to the desert and find the SS Libra ship that was attacked at the beginning. To no surprise, I find more members of Team Cypher here. I defeat the one that stayed behind. I leave the boat and am met with the main villains of the prequel, Team Snag'em. They put me to sleep and steal my snag machine. This generous crew member then points me in the direction they went in. I make my way there. When I get there, I watch this dude take out the Team Snag'em member. He then remembers me and I'm forced to take him out. I then got an email from Sek telling me to go back to Pyrite Town. Before that, I did some training and evolved my Houndour. He pointed me in the direction of the outskirts stand. When I got there, I bumped into this Afro dude again, who I defeated in battle. After that, this dude wants to battle me for some reason. I take him out too. Sek then sends me an email saying he's located the Snag'em hideout. I make my way through the hideout until I find the leader, Gonzap. He is then taken out via battle and I get my snag machine back. I then go back to Team Cypher's final base and battle this dude one more time. I defeat him and steal his stupid Zangoose this time. I have some trouble trying to enter the base, however Gonzap and his friend put the guards to sleep. After taking out some of Team Cypher, my Flaffy evolves into Ampharos. A couple of battles later, my Teddiursa evolves into Ursaring. I make it to the top of the base and pull this lever to overload the voltage. A confused Smarten comes out of his room and battles me. He's then defeated. I then enter the Shadow Pokemon production room to find Georgian, who I battle and defeat in a very close battle. Greevil is then shockingly revealed to be the leader of Team Cypher. After that shocking reveal, I stop by Crane's office to receive the Master Ball. I then go to Gadian Port to board the Robo Kyogre to their secret island. After sacrificing some Cypher grunts, my Spheal finally decides to evolve. I progress through the base and encounter Lavrina. She battles me and loses. I proceed up the mountain until I'm stopped by Snaddle. He also is defeated in a battle. After Snaddle runs away, I make my way to this blue guy and find out his name is Ardos. He then of course challenges me to battle. This battle gave me some trouble because I was fairly underleveled, but with the help of some items I managed to scrape by. I enter this globe and find Greevil. He is surprised I beat Ardos and put up his wall so I can't get to him. I look for another way to him and run into Gorgon. He's put down in battle also. I literally just go under and around and find my way to Greevil again. Eldest is then put in my way. This time I just couldn't take him out. I was too underleveled and couldn't scrape by anymore. I put Cypher on hold and made my way to Mount Battle where I trained my Pokemon. During this time I also evolved my Celio into Walrein. I return to the island and this time I'm the one that challenges Eldest with my new and improved team.
Well, he's never fought me.
Yeah, he has.
He's never fought me twice.
After only one attempt, I wipe the floor with him. I then make my way upstairs and face none other than Greevil himself. Before battling him, he summons XD001, also known as Shadow Lugia. I'm probably not going to play this game again, so I'm not sure why I didn't use the Master Ball here. Regardless, I managed to catch it with an Ultra Ball, which was a lot harder than I thought it would be. This is where I was kind of punching the air because I had no idea that I had to battle him right after. I'm lucky only 2 of my Pokemon took damage from Lugia, but I was already at a disadvantage. If that wasn't enough, he then summons the legendary Pokemon Moltres. It wasn't looking too good for me. Walrein manages to tank a shot and knocks out Moltres. Breloom also uppercuts Rhydon, knocking him out and evening the board. I'm quickly put at a disadvantage again as Tauros knocks out Breloom. Walrein, however, sneaks in an Ice Beam and takes out Executor. I was feeling a bit better until he called out another legendary Pokemon, Articuno. At this point I assume he has all 3 legendary birds. Walrein hits another Ice Beam and luckily freezes the Tauros, which put me in a really good spot. Houndoom outspeeds Articuno and knocks it out with Flamethrower. As suspected, he then brings out Zapdos, who knocks out Houndoom, bringing it down to the final 4. Walrein hits Ice Beam on Zapdos, putting it in killing range, and Tauros is still frozen. Walrein's extreme luck runs out as he's taken out by Zapdos. Umbreon then takes out Tauros. It all comes full circle. The Pokemon that we started it all with versus the Pokemon that can end us right now. I clench my cheeks and go for the bite. It outspeeds me, but I take the hit like a champ. As soon as I thought my luck was finished, Umbreon gets a critical hit, winning us the battle. After the battle, Ardos plans to escape with Greavil and blow up the island. Eldest then changes sides and says Cypher is done. Regardless, they have nothing. It's also revealed that Greavil is their father. Eldest then convinces Greavil that they were in the wrong and invites me to battle again sometime, but not as enemies. I then board the Robo Kyogre again and make my way home. I choose the Moon Shard for Umbreon, which apparently was the worst choice, but we'll see how that goes.